Okay, so we've been going over dinosaur misconceptions.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of misconceptions, but there is no more visually represented misconception
Yes.
over time than that of the Spinosaurus.
So yeah, we're gonna actually go through this chronologically.
Okay.
To make everything make sense.
Okay.
So we're gonna start all the way back in 1915.
Okay.
So as you can guess, when they first found Spinosaurus, which I believe they only found like the sails and maybe some other random bones, this is what we thought Spinosaurus looked at first. Quadrupedal, had just T-Rex head, but still had the spine, which also there's a debate about whether it was a spine or a hump.
Okay.
But for most people agree it was probably a spine. So yeah, a sail. Sorry,
Yeah,
a sail.
sail, yeah.
So this is how Spinosaurus first
Kind of that stereotypical early 20th century view of a dinosaur.
Yeah. Then, however, eventually we figured out that they would have most likely been bipedal.
Okay.
So when we started, actually sciencing, so that would lead to this slightly better, I guess you could say, version of Spinosaurus.
So basically the same creature,
But-
just smaller front arms.
Yes, and then
And beefier back legs to
pretty
stand up.
small arms too, actually.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, it was bipedal. That was the
Bipedal,
new
yeah.
thing. Spinosaurus.
So basically his hips were restructured.
Yes. So this is what we
Okay.
got.
Okay.
Then the only fossils. Okay, so here's the thing where things get a little sad and interesting. Guess where the only fossils were stored of this specific species?
1915. I'm going to say somewhere that was bombed during a world war.
Yes, 1944 Munich, Germany.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, the Allied bombing campaign, Spinosaurus, its fossils were blown up by the Allies. So yes, great job, Allies. We blew up Spinosaurus. And so that was it. We had drawings of those bones, but this was kind of almost like a mythical creature at this point. Something happened in 2000.
I think there's one living in the Loch Ness.
We found something. People were looking through the pictures. The pictures of the original fossils
Okay.
had a secret that was somehow never discussed with the original fossils.
Okay.
That being that the jaws of this creature looked like a crocodile.
Did you need an assistant?
I got it. So yeah, that's the interesting thing. We figured out that the original fossil
Right.
had the crocodile jaws.
Oh, okay. Oh,
But-
from the drawings.
Yeah, but
Okay.
no one ever brought it up.
Okay.
I guess. Maybe they thought, I don't remember. Maybe they thought it was of a different creature. Maybe
Right,
They thought it was
right.
actually the jaws of a crocodile.
Right.
But that created this thing,
Okay.
which of course would be featured in 2003, I think. Let me look it up.
So bipedal. His arms got even littler.
All right, no, it's from
His sail got a little longer and slower. His tail got longer, and his head became more
Yes.
alligator,
And
crocodile.
this would lead to the very famous 2001 Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus.
Oh, okay.
A massive predator bigger than T-Rex that enters the movie by causing a plane to crash and then killing a juvenile T-Rex and then going on an absolute rampage. And then this was, besides being a little big in Jurassic Park, was actually probably one of Jurassic Park's best interpretations of the dinosaur.
Jurassic Park got it
Which
right.
is even more funny because a current theory believes that this creature was made via gene splicing, which would lead to the hybridization, which means this was more hybrid than any of the other dinosaurs up until that point,
Right.
and yet was the more accurate, which is really funny. But yeah, so this is how Spinosaurus looked, and this is how most people think it looks today, for the
Okay.
most part.
Okay.
Like most people, when you say Spinosaurus, they're going to think
That's what
this.
they picture. Yeah. But then, wasn't there a whole thing about
Yes. So in 2014, we discover new fossils in Morocco. Not Egypt this time. We find them in
Okay.
Morocco, which
Okay.
expands its range.
Okay.
And then we realize something. This thing was not bipedal. It was actually quadrupedal again. We found that, that was actually quadrupedal. And then you get like this weird version of it. This is the Papo 2020.
So more like crocodile alligator-ish.
Yes. And this means it's still the longest, but it's no longer the largest carnivore.
Okay.
And T-Rex was put back on the throne.
Okay.
There's also a whole thing with Giga. That will be a whole post of its own. That's a post I make later on, so we'll worry about that then.
Okay.
Yes. But then this model shows that in 2020, just 2 years later, they realized it was horizontal like this, but technically still bipedal.
Oh.
And like these were just really low hanging.
Okay.
So it went from quadrupedal to bipedal to having its snout to being quadrupedal and now
but semi-bipedal.
No, it's
semi-quadrupedal.
It's bipedal.
Right, but his arms just hang really low, so he looks kind of quadrupedal.
Yes, he looks quadrupedal, but was bipedal.
Yeah.
So he's gone up and down and then back up again.
And his sail has gone from
rounded to...
Because then it was shorter, then now it's taller.
I'll get to it with the last figure. This one doesn't show it well, but it actually kind of had a divot.
Okay.
We're not positive if I believe there was a divot.
Or if someone just took a bite out of the one.
Yeah, but we think it's a divot because of how the bones look.
Okay.
So. And then this was Spinosaurus in like 2018, 2020. Well, this was like going into 2020.
Okay.
Then 2020 would have another discovery. It had a weird-ass looking tail. And so this... A PNSO figure is the current modern interpretation of Spinosaurus.
So that tail looks more like a swimming tail.
Which you think, it swam, right? Well, that's what they were like.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it has this tail, it has to swim.
That's what it seems
Studying in 2021 said its body would support a shoreline lifestyle, but not an aquatic one. But then... but we knew it at least lived near the
water, yeah.
Which I'll get to in a second. But then 2020 said... its bone density said it could go really deep. Another study that year said it was unstable on land and lumbered in deep water, so it lived in inland lakes and rivers instead of the coast. Yeah, in 1 year it went from fully aquatic to in 2 years it went from aquatic to not aquatic to fully aquatic to not even liking the land. So yeah. This is still up for debate.
So, do we think that this on like a branch or whatever lineage that we think led to crocodiles and alligators? No. Any relationship?
Crocodilians were around before the
that's true.
Ancestors of crocodilians were around before dinosaurs. No.
Okay,
this is convergent because they both ate fish.
Okay,
and despite all this debate about whether or not Spinosaurus swam or not,
right.
It did eat. At least to a point, fish, because we have a skeleton of a sawfish, like one of the big sawfish, specifically Onchopriestis, that has the bite marks of a Spinosaurus in it.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, that technically could have been scavenging, but we believe that at the very least, this thing ate fish. Now, whether it lived in the water or on the shore,
whether it ate primarily fish or whatever,
is still up for debate.
Okay.
But yes, this
is where we've ended up.
Since 2020... This is an accurate depiction of Spinosaurus. Whether or not it swam, we've had in the past 3 years, we've had at least 3 studies going back and forth on that topic.
So this is like when your parents put the pictures of you over the years on the wall, and you think that it's because they love you so much, and really it's to go, do you remember the year you had that haircut? That's kind of Spinosaurus's life now.
I mean, look at all of these. There's just...
And we have them all, by the way.
Yes, I finally have them all. It was very recent because I got this one.
This is very 1940s looking.
Yeah, I got this one.
Yeah.
And then this came out. I'm like, what the? Yeah. So yeah, this
is how I picture it in my head.
Yes, but this is how you should picture
it in my head.
And this is the version hanging up at the Field Museum now.
Oh, okay.
Which they also named... like some cool Egyptian name after like some Egyptian god, which is really cool because one of the other options was Sandy. I'm like, that's the most boring name ever. Like,
the Field Museum has kept pretty much current because now they've got that guy. They're kind of keeping up with the latest.
Yeah.
I mean, you would expect Field Museum.
Yeah. Also, the Field Museum is the only museum in the Western Hemisphere you can find a reconstruction of Spinosaurus.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. See, that's a good thing about the Field Museum.
Also, Sue is like the largest T-Rex that is so easily...
When I look at this, I picture one of those 1920s, 1940s movies with kind of the stop motion dinosaur. That's exactly what I see.
That eventually became this. Like, look at that.
Hey, cuz.
Yeah. And also, you could even think about, because this is an older toy.
Yeah.
And look at this is a Pino figure. I believe actually each of them has a name. I believe hers is like Osine or something.
Okay.
And look, she has a reticular jaw.
Yeah.
Very precise. Very.
Yeah, compared to
that thing. Yeah.
This is what I think they actually used in the movies. This
like these
model.
claws
This is actually, I think, from
these
the
claws are actually poking me as I'm holding it. Well, those things are just like.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be more for kid safety, but. Because this is more of an adult figure.
That's more of a...
Like, see, this is a kid's toy. It has the duller nails. But this is like a collector more thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And who made that?
PNSO.
PNSO.
Right.
Okay.
That, no idea.
Yeah.
This is a really old safari figure.
Okay.
We're talking 1992.
But at the time was accurate
to
the research. Okay.
Then this is like 2000s probably. 2008.
Okay.
And then this is 2020... Papo, and then I believe this is 2020 PNSL, but like we're talking later in 20.
Okay.
Like let's see. PNSO Spinosaurus. When were you made? Yeah, 2020. So like this was announced and released before 2020. This was like made and released during 2020.
So probably like
think about
2019.
Think about this. This was made for the beginning of 2020.
Right.
This was made for the end of
2020.
And they're different. Isn't that insane?
Now, I mean, I do see the similarities.
Yeah.
I mean, they were kind of headed in the direction.
Yes. Also, this is Papo. This is PNS.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do see the similarities.
Also, I do like this one because it's so big.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still like all these figures, but yeah.
Well, but I think it's cool that this is just an excellent demonstration of the fact that we're still learning, we're still discovering, we're still guessing.
Yeah.
On a lot of things. I mean, here, he was bright blue, this guy. He had
let's see.
He had just a standard kind of, I guess you'd call it T-Rex shaped head, but smaller. All the way to that, which basically starts to look like a...
and all of these are Spinosaurus aegypticus.
Okay. So Northeast Africa.
Okay, I thought this was talking about there was a new species, but no, that's just a different Spinosaurid altogether.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
And for those, yes, Egypt is in Africa. Just because that's been a point of contention. Yes,
Egypt's in Africa. But Spinosaurus would have lived in Egypt and Morocco. So basically, back then, I don't know exactly how the continents were or whatever, but today, it's Northern Africa. Yeah. So, it's been a crazy evolution. Who knows where it's going next? I keep saying that in 5 years it's going to shoot laser beams. But who knows? What's going to happen to Spinosaurus?
If Spinosaurus could come back today and look at how we have recorded its evolution, you'd be like, wow, that's way more exciting than the real story, guys.
Also, so because of how it looks now, there's a meme recreation of it where they combined it. Did you see it, kind of?
So that's why he's got his own meme.
Meet our boy, the elephant Spheal Spinosaurus. They reconstructed it to look like a hybrid between it and an elephant seal. So you get this thing as Spinosaurus.
This is like one of the famous artists. Any one of the big famous artists who was completely destitute in their day, and then becomes like the bomb, in the 21st century for some reason. Somebody finds his work.
Spinosaurus is the longest dinosaur ever known, and it's a great showcase. Longest carnivore, longest theropod ever known.
Yeah,
to some extent an aquatic hunter.
Okay.
And is also a great example of how science is always changing, and we should stop blowing up museums.
Yeah, stop. If you could just put a little bomb shield over the museums. We've lost art. We've lost dinosaur bones.
Yeah.
Probably lost a couple of curators.
Look through their collections and find new species in them.
Yeah.
So we could have lost the chance to ever know of a species because like a museum burned down or got blown up. So, yeah.
Aim better.
Yeah, aim better.
Or here's an idea: stop with the bombs.
Yeah. Heads.
Meanie heads.
All right. No.
All right. That was that whole one.
Yes.
All right.
We have one post left.
Okay. So here I'm gonna give back the blue thing. That wraps it up for this meandering post.
All right.
All right. So I'm gonna wait.
All right. There's one post left.